Okay, so since you said your necklace has to do with Atlantis, I had a different incarnation of yours come forward before we connected, and I talked to her for a little while, and we're going to talk about all the wonderful things that she wants to tell you. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, but where I met her, she said Atlas, and at first I thought she said Atlantis. And she
Mhm.
said, no, the name is Atlas, but she said Atlantis is a really good movie. Have you seen that movie? It's a cartoon movie.
No.
She said you should watch it.
Okay.
And that's so funny. I was like, okay, I will tell her. I haven't seen it either. And she was saying I should watch it as well. And I said, okay, well, I will tell her. But it's I don't know, it's not a Disney movie. I can't remember the production, but there's a guy that has glasses on it. But just Google Atlantis cartoon movie and then it'll come up. But she said it'd
Okay.
be good for you to watch that.
Okay, cool.
Okay, yes. Okay, that's so funny. Okay,
Yeah.
so before we talk about that, I'm going to go over a couple things just so I can answer any questions you may have beforehand.
Yeah.
Before we connected, I pulled you some oracle cards. We're not going to go over them in the session, but I will send you pictures and their guidebook descriptions, and that'll give you extra messaging. And then I
Okay.
asked each one of your chakras what kind of crystals would help with your healing and your growth. And I built you a crystal grid, and I'll send you pictures of that as well. And
Okay,
then I
cool.
will get the replay of your session to you tomorrow, if that's okay.
Yes, cool.
Okay. And can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So I see here that you wanted to go over karmic lessons, soul
Yeah.
contracts, vows, spiritual gifts, soul mission. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Are there any specific questions that you have, or you just wanted to see what comes up in those different areas?
I would like to know what is comes up in different areas, but this is mostly because I'm a stage that I'm good. I'm going for what I want. And I'm an early years teacher, but like 5 months, I start a breath work training, and
Oh, fun.
I went to Peru to learn to shamanism, about ayahuasca y todo, and all related that. Um, since that happened, when I was there, uh, then my gift, I'm very sensitive,
Mm-hmm.
so I could feel a lot of the energy, and sometimes I got very scared, and I still
Mm-hmm.
scared. And even the other day, I took measures because I wanted to draw something, and I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking, I will be good. I wasn't good idea
Okay.
because
So
it came
just so
another
much coming in.
batch. But before the thing is that before I start all this work, I could see more, like, let's say, like nicer scenes. But
Mm-hmm.
after I did ayahuasca, during the ayahuasca, it came a lot of let's say bad scenes,
Scary.
and yeah, and
Yep.
scary. And I got very scared, like Saturday I was scared, and I first I tried to mapacho, and my mapacho was like all open
She
because
was like, here we go. Yeah.
because I was so scared. I was like, oh my
Okay.
god.
Yeah.
And and when, because I almost finished in my practice of breath.
Hmm.
So, and some of my clients, they're still not connecting, or no, it's not connecting. It's like I I know for sure, because I also, the other day that you made this meditation with the
Yes.
others, I could feel the energy. I was lying on my bed, and I could feel the energy coming through, and especially in my left hand. And I know I kind of healer that can heal,
Hmm.
but I don't know how good, or how to go into my clients, and helping them. So
Hmm.
I don't know, because now I'm feel like uh, I'm good on this. I'm not good, and I still in my other world. I children teaching, stay with children made me very happy, really, but not the environment. The my
Hmm.
so it's like, oh. So, it's a little bit controversial. Like, I would like, but that's not for me. I want to jump on the breath,
Hmm.
but still I feeling like this kind of thing that, no, now I'm trying to make a page on Instagram, like told about my story, and so and get a little bit like
Okay. Okay. Okay.
like why?
Okay.
So
So what I'm hearing is in one of your karmic lessons that you're working through is what this different incarnation told me was trusting ourselves. And
okay,
she said that's the main one right now. Okay.
okay,
So from what I'm hearing is I don't know if I'm good enough at this to jump into it.
yeah,
And also, I saw some really scary things. And if I go into it deeper, maybe I'll see some scarier things, especially when we are dealing with other persons and like
yeah,
clients, and you know, you're very hypersensitive. And so there might even be some underlying fears of, well, what am I going to see in their fields?
yeah.
Right. Okay. Because everybody has shadow aspects. Was that your first time doing ayahuasca?
Yes, it was my first time.
Okay, so I haven't done ayahuasca, but I've done other plant medicines and some other things as well outside of that. So sometimes the experience is very fun and silly, goofy, laughy, wonderful. And then other times it's like, hey, we're about to go in and we're going to look at every single shadow aspect there is within us. It's like some big, heavy medicine that we work through. So it
Yeah.
kind of sounds like that is what you did. And you said, hey, I'm really ready to launch myself into these higher dimensional planes, but I
Mm-hmm.
can't take all that baggage with me. And so
Mm-hmm.
I have to see it in order to work it out. And on top of that, those scary images that you saw when you were in that place, I don't think that they were all having to do with you from
Okay.
what I'm reading. So if you saw that intensity when you were in the ayahuasca session, it's not going to be like anything like that reading for other people.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like you got the, hey, I'm going to show you all this stuff right now, and then you're not going to be afraid to go in with other people because you're not going to experience that with them. Like I've seen some, like, I wouldn't call it scary things with other people, but just really heavy, intense. They
Mm-hmm.
don't touch some of the things that I've seen on like psychedelic trips before.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to kind of flip that perspective a little bit and say, okay, I've already seen the really intense things. I've
Yeah.
seen it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what comes up for you when you hear that?
Yeah. No, I'm like, I was thinking like now, oof, yes, but I still feel like because I was with more people and these more people were more advanced than me. Obviously, they took previously, yeah, a few
Mm-hmm.
was kind of, but I feel like I still scared of my shadow and properly I don't know sometimes when it's my or when it's from outside to come in because
Mm-hmm.
I here to do ayahuasca was one night and I'm in London now, so I could feel I was smoking almost all night because I could feel all these
Yeah.
things they were coming and want me to to come there
Mm-hmm.
and was I know I could feel really like um the London has it's very beautiful city, and really like, but it has a lot of heavy things.
Mm-hmm.
And and I was when you were saying now to flip it, but I was like, how can I flip it? And this my things or the outside, how can I know?
Yes. Okay. You're probably, because even though those persons had probably, they'd taken ayahuasca before, they're probably going through similar experiences as you of like facing their shadows. And if you don't have really good, strong, energetic boundaries yet,
Mm-hmm.
their experiences can kind of, because you're picking up on that, you're energetically reading. And then when you don't feel safe and we feel like we're going into survival mode, like, oh no, we start
Mm-hmm.
to pick up even more around us because
Yes.
it's a trauma response. It's like, I need to know what's going on with everybody's energy fields around me. Okay. So what your higher self is coming through and saying, hey, that experience is not relative to you working with clients. However, like,
Mm-hmm.
yes, you can pick up on things from other people, like traumas that they have, if they've dealt with, a myriad of things. That's why it's really important to continue to work on energetic boundaries, what's
Mhm,
mine and what's theirs.
mhm,
What I think that you are doing now is you are absorbing other people's energies to better understand them.
mhm.
Most energy healers go through that at the beginning because they think that they have to do that in order to empathize with people. So I
Mhm,
need to feel your pain so that I can fully understand what you're experiencing so that I can give you the best advice, right? But when you do that, now you're dipping into the emotions too, and we can't give them objectivity. We
Okay.
can't give them the best advice because now we're on the same frequency level as they are.
Mhm.
We're not able to service them, right? So that's going to take some conscious effort on your part. And I can send you some videos on holding energetic boundaries if you'd like. That really
Okay.
helped me in the beginning.
Okay.
Okay,
I
I'll
will
make a note.
appreciate
Okay.
it. I will appreciate that.
Yes. Okay. Because energetic boundaries are a little bit different than holding regular boundaries with people. Holding interpersonal boundaries is not people pleasing, not letting people speak to you any type of way, regular human interaction. Energetic boundaries are saying, okay, if I'm talking to somebody who dealt with abuse in their life, I might have dealt with abuse in my life, but I've already worked on healing those things, or I'm actively working on healing those things. If I'm not holding good boundaries with that person, it's going to trigger my inner child. And now my inner child is speaking to them, and now we're both hurting. And I'm
Mm,
not able to step in as the mentor or the coach or the guide
mhm,
and help them in the capacity that they need. So I
mm,
have to hold that boundary and say, I'm not going to let my emotions feed on theirs,
mhm.
my inner children inside. We do our own healing in our own time.
Okay.
We look at that stuff in our own time. We're just here for this person right now. Okay.
Mhm,
Now, what your higher self is saying is those really intense, scary things that you saw, that's not going to happen in regular sessions with people. Like, yes, you might feel the trauma in your body, you might
mhm,
feel the PTSD or their self limiting beliefs, but not the intensity level that you did in the ayahuasca session. So she's saying, don't let that trip you up. Okay. Don't let that, because that probably created some PTSD in your body of like, I don't know if I want to help people on this bigger capacity if that's going to happen again.
mhm.
And she said it's not the same. You went
Yeah.
in, you dove, you went 0 to 100 with the ayahuasca. Okay.
Yes. Yes, but it's so curious because my master of the breath, he came last month, I think so. Uh see, last month. And I was assisting him, and one of the girls, I got also a little bit shocked because she was like, it was for me literal, like a ceremony of ayahuasca. I was just in my part of that I needed to take care of the people, and one of these girls, it was like very uh, she was laughing and then crying and then screaming and vomiting. So my master needed to came to take over me, and
Mm-hmm.
and I needed to blow mapacho to help him. So in that moment I was like, oh my God, that was like ayahuasca, but it wasn't on me this time, it was on the other person. And
Mm-hmm.
my master told me it yeah, probably it's because you have this because it's in your blood, the I'm from Peru,
Mm-hmm.
so to having all this the mapacho, all this stuff, they make help to take care to bring it up.
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. You got a
oh,
strong energy field. You have a strong energy field.
I see.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Because you have ancestrals, right, of healing. Right. It's to the bone, it's to your core. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So that's probably why you are so hypersensitive as well, is because throughout your not just this lineage, but other lineages outside of this incarnation, okay? Because your different incarnation that came forward, we'll talk about that in a second, but you have seen a lot of pain. You understand pain on a very deep level and trauma on a very deep level past this incarnation, multitudes, because you've been helping people heal for a long time. So we have to train this version of you here
Yes.
that we don't have to step into the pain to help others.
Mm-hmm.
We can objectively look at it and become an even more advanced healer and say, I can, I
I
can look
like
at,
that.
yeah, I can look
Advanced
at what you
healing.
have going on. We want to observe instead of absorb. Okay. Because when we're absorbing all of that from other people all the time, it blocks your channels. It makes you sad. It makes you depressed. It makes you anxious. It really does a toll on your physical body. And so it's actually really good that this happened because that way you can go ahead and nip that in the bud now. We can make that a number one top priority. So that will actually accelerate you with your clients so much more. The reason you probably haven't been able to tap in with them with the level that you want to is because we don't have the energetic boundaries in place, the strong foundation yet. And
Okay.
so it's like, well, we can't really look at things deeper because our body can't handle that.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, 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 yes.
Yes. So when we are starting to, you ever with your clients, um, do you ever feel kind of like this energetic pull when you start getting into kind of like traumatic things or PTSD, like when you feel it in your body, do you feel like this pull of like, okay, I need to feel this in my own body in order to understand what they're going through?
Not really.
Okay.
So when I there, because I'm still, I've told you this, what I'm doing is a practice, no? So I feel in my body, but not because I want to feel it, but sometimes I feel in my body the pain. So
Yes.
I tap and I tap, try to tap to them, but on them doesn't happen nothing. So doesn't happen this kind of movement sometimes even the I experience with breath. So I'm like, that's the reason like, how can I make my gift like more, expand more to what I'm feeling, going to them and helping them to transcend this because I feel it, but not because I wanted to feel,
No,
because
I
I
know. But okay. So when you start to, because I used to do that too.
Mhm.
When I first started energy healing, I would feel the things in my body because there was this thing inside of my subconscious that was saying, I need to transmute their pain for them
Mhm.
in order for my healing to be effective. But what you're doing is you're also robbing them of their experience of feeling that within themselves.
Okay.
That is indicative of a very advanced healer, though,
Mhm.
because you know how to transmute it for them. Like, that's beautiful. That's amazing that you can take that into your body and say, I got it. Right. Okay. But you're damaging self and you're not actually helping them because they need to, like, if they have something, let's say in their heart chakra that is clogging them up, right? If you're absorbing that into your own body and doing it for them, they're not getting the experience that they
Yeah.
need, right? And so when you start to feel those things in your body, you need to very clearly hold a boundary with yourself and say, this is not mine. I'm returning this back to them and I will
Mhm.
help them with it in their body.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
have to, because that's kind of like, it's not quite a vow that you're speaking over self, but it's like, I will take that so they don't have to experience the pain, so they don't have to experience the trauma. But if people don't experience their own pain and trauma, they can't work through it. That's not helping them on the long term, on the permanent
Okay.
basis. They need to learn how to alchemize that within. Sometimes they need a healer to show them how. Okay. But they have to come to that within themselves. It's not your responsibility to transmute everyone's pain. So we need to figure out where that's coming from.
Mhm.
Because the reason it was coming up for me is because I didn't feel worthy unless I did that. I didn't feel like my magic was powerful enough unless I did that. I'm not saying that's what's going on with you. That was just for me. That might be some discovery on your end of why do I feel like I have to take on other people's pain for them?
Yeah. Well, I think it's the same that what I was working all the past year because well, you were talking about boundaries. So yeah, now I can say it has quite good boundaries in normal human experience in
Yeah,
the
the
world.
human relationships, yes.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yes. And so you uh, uh, I I flew the idea what I was saying.
That's okay. We were talking about we've gotten really good at boundaries with the humans, with
Yes. Yeah,
our
yeah,
human
yeah. I have,
relationships. Okay.
yes, I has now yes, but and one of my things that I was working on the past year, it was about my words because I have a lot of traumas and stuff that happened to
Mm-hmm.
me. So, and one of the things I still working is in the worthy thing that I deserve and I good, no?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yes, that is true. If they not feel the pain, they can heal. They can do it.
What you are effectively doing when you are taking on their pain is you are putting a band-aid on it, and then they're going to have to go see another healer and another healer and another healer and another healer because they're not learning how to do it themselves. And
Yeah.
I know that's not your intention. Like your intention is I want you to be able to give yourself the medicine that you need and the healing that you need. And if I can help you along that path, great. But I don't want you to have to come to me forever. Like we want everybody to be able to get to a priestess level or a shaman level or, you know, whatever, or energy healer, whatever, whatever they want to get to, right?
Yeah.
So when you were talking, your higher self was saying that because you have experienced trauma and PTSD in this human incarnation. Okay. There are some energetics running of, okay, I've learned how to hold good boundaries with my relationships. However, when I see someone who is really honestly working on themselves, because the people who created that PTSD and trauma with you are probably not working on themselves. Okay. So when you see another healer, somebody that's coming to you, that is a healer or could be a potential healer, you know, that's going to be helping in the collective in some type of way. You are saying over them and yourself, I will go ahead and take some of this pain for you so that you can get to where you need to go quicker. It breaks my heart to see somebody, this is you, okay? It breaks my heart to see somebody who's so self-aware and who is loving themselves and working on themselves, having to go through this pain. Let me take some of that for you so that you can move on faster, but it's not actually helping them move on faster. So it's almost like you're looking at these persons and saying like, I'm so proud of you, I'm so happy for you, you're on the self-awareness journey, you're on the ascension journey. I'm going to do my part by taking on some of your pain for you, almost like a gift that you are giving to them, but it's not a gift that's going to serve them for the long term.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that make sense the way I was wording it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what comes up for you when I say that? And that's a beautiful thing that you're doing too, but it's not like that, that's a beautiful thing to do. but, but but effectively for like the long term, right? And I get it because I was doing the same thing as well.
Yes. No. No. Yeah. You're talking about this now, no? The of the boundary that they need to respect their own thing, no? Yeah. Okay. Give me. But I was in the few last ones. When I was there. I was like, I am just the canal. I am just the canal. Uh, the canal just for to helping to them to helping. But what then we back again to this, just realizing now the worthy, because when I was saying like I use the canal, um with one start to coughing, I start to feeling, but with another one it wasn't like nothing. Then when when we were talking, she was like, oh, it wasn't like the first time, didn't feel the energy. I just feel like a little bit, I was with my head everywhere, blah, 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 blah. And I was feeling like, oh no, I'm not good at
Okay.
this.
Okay. So there's a lot of different things going on there. Okay. So one, not everybody is going to feel things as viscerally as everyone else, right? So this is a matter of you believing in your own magic and your healing abilities, regardless of whether somebody is feeling it or not, because they have a lot of barriers that they might have that is causing them not to feel it. If
Okay.
they have a lot of programming running
Mm-hmm.
and saying like, and they're kind of teetering on, I don't know if this is kind of real or not, or they might have religious programming. There might be a lot of different layers that is fighting against them actually feeling it. Okay, so that's one thing. So their higher self came to you for a reason. They could have gone to any other healer in the world, but they came to you. So you have to understand, yes, we want to help the human here. Okay. But their higher self, their multidimensional awareness chose you as the healer.
Mm-hmm.
They know that you have medicine that they need, whether this human feels it or not, because there's a lot of distortion filter lenses that might be preventing this person from feeling it. So you have to be rock solid within yourself of, I am a wonderful healer. And you know that you are. I know that you know that you are, but your human gets blocked out sometimes. But you know, like we have the ancestral healing gift. Okay. So we need to say it doesn't matter what. Now, obviously, we can keep on improving our skills and abilities. That's why you're here having this session with me, right?
Yeah.
And why
Yes.
you're taking all these classes and going to all these places.
Yeah.
But you have to really come to this very solid place within of whomever is contracted to work with me, they were sent to me for a reason. And even if they don't physically feel it in their body, I know that they are still getting what they need to receive.
Mm-hmm.
One of the ways that you can make your magic more powerful and for them is stop doing all the work in your body. Because you're taking that away from them. You're saying, okay, I'll do it all in here. And then when we're done, you're good to go. Okay. Then they're not experiencing because you experienced it. You experienced the pain and the trauma alchemization in here instead of allowing them to experience because you think that it's hurting them.
Mm-hmm.
It's not hurting. You know how PTSD and trauma works. Like if you're pulling it up from deeper within somebody's body, it's going to activate them. It's going to bring up memories. It's going to bring up emotions. It's going to cause this stirring up within them. They need to have that experience. They need to know what it feels like for pain and trauma to leave their body. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, is it really intense for people sometimes? Sure, you've gone through that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but on the other side of it, just like your ayahuasca trip, it's like, okay, well, I needed to do that. Right. So we can't keep on continuing to hold people's hands as tightly when we're working with them. We need to let them have their own visceral experience.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So when you
Yeah.
start feeling those things in your body, say to your higher self, I only want to feel the things that I need to feel to locate where the pain is, but they need to feel it in their body. Because I get
Oh,
that too.
good.
Sometimes when you're doing Reiki, it's like I need to know exactly kind of where the pain points are within them or whatever modality that you're utilizing. When I'm working with clients, sometimes I'll get this really intense feeling in my heart chakra and I'm like, oh, they're experiencing a lot of guilt, right? But as soon as I feel that, I say, okay, back to them now. I
Okay.
don't let that stay in my body.
Okay, cool.
Make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
great.
yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. And I will send you videos and energetic boundaries as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to talk about this really cool gift that you have that I have not seen in this way before. So I'm very excited to talk
Oh,
about
wow.
it. Yeah, it's really
Yes.
cool. Okay. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
However, I can see where that ayahuasca trip probably scared the bejeebies out of you. And when I tell you about this gift, you're gonna be like, I don't know about that. So we'll talk through
Okay.
that. Okay. Okay. So when I went into your field, I was taken to a cloud and I was standing on top of it. And then you came forward in this incarnation, but then you turned into this other person. And I was like, oh, hello. And I was talking to her and I was telling her who I was.
Mm-hmm.
And she was British.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, interesting. Okay. Um, and I said, where are we? And she said that we're on Atlas. So Atlas is a planet, it's a different planet that's not in
Mm-hmm.
this galaxy. It's a different system. And the city that because she's not from there, she had astral projected there. So we'll talk
Oh,
about that because you have an astral projection gift. Okay.
yes.
Yes. Okay. So she had astral projected there and she was telling me that this city was like her second home and it was a city built in the clouds. Like it was a sky city basically. And I didn't get to see the sky city because she had to show me all these other things. Um, she wants to work with you to help you learn how to astral project.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so we're going to talk about that more. How do you feel about that?
Exciting. And the same time,
Okay.
like, oh, wow.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
I'm holding my knees like,
Yes, okay. So when you end up working with her, she will show you Atlas, the city. I did not have time to go see it because I had to go look at all this other things for you in the session. But she said that she would be happy to take you there and to show you the city in her second home. Okay. And I was like,
oh,
dang. So I might actually go back in meditation later because I really wanted to see the city and ask her to take me. Okay. So she showed me a compass and she said, look into it. And so I did. And all of a sudden, I went into the compass. And then I landed in this city, and it was London where we landed. And it was in the 70s, 1970s. So that's where she's from. And she took me into her kind of like apartment loft that she had. And she said, I have a flatmate. And I said, okay, kind of like a roommate. She said, she's not home right now. And I said, okay. So she took me to her room and she had a lot of like crystals. It was very like a metaphysical type of room. And she said, this is where I learned how to astral project. And I said, awesome. And she said, I want you to sit with me. And I said, okay. So I sat down with her and she said, give me your hand. And I said, all right. So I gave her my hand and she put a coin in my hand and told me to close it and to shake it. And so I shook it and she said, now open it up. And I opened it and she said, what do you see on the coin? And I was like, I just see a coin. Okay. So when I am doing client sessions, sometimes in order to interpret what your gifts are, they will actually happen to me so that I can relay them to you. Okay. So you need to know that for what we're about to talk about. So she said, I want you to look deeper into the coin. And I said, okay. So I looked deeper and I've got my notes here. So let me read from those. So I looked deeper into the coin and she said, what do you see? And I said, I don't see anything. And she said, just wait. And I said, okay, I hear a dog barking. And then I saw a big, beautiful field and I saw the dog kind of like running around. And she said, what else do you see? And I said, I see a farmer and he had a pitchfork in his hand and he was looking over the field and he was just like so proud of his farm and he was just watching his dog and he was like so happy. And then all of a sudden I went back into the room that she was at in her London flat and she told me that you have the ability, it's called clairtangency. It's also called psychometry. Okay. So this is where you can pick up objects
mhm.
and you can see the memories of the persons who have owned it before.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So like if this cup belonged to somebody before, I could sit with it and I could see the memories of that person. But it goes past that, okay? So you were actually able to astral project with these items and
Oh,
go into those places and like go into their memories back in time and space and actually walk around in history. You can utilize those things as portals.
wow.
Okay. I was like, oh, I have not seen that before. I've seen where different psychics are able to read energy off of, like, let's say that a loved one has passed and they had a scarf, right? And a psychic can hold the scarf and can see, different images from that person's time and space. Your higher self was saying that you can, okay, when people have memories, it creates energetic coordinates in time and space. It's almost like a time capsule that it's creating within somebody's memories. Okay. Especially when there's like some really intense emotions attached to those memories. And you were actually able to ride those waves of their memories and pop out in those times and spaces and walk around and speak with them in time and space. She said, if you wanted to, talking to me, she said, you can go talk to that farmer if you want. I
Oh,
said, okay. I said, I won't do that right now. But I said, okay. So again, this is a type of astral projection, but you're utilizing these very specific, like let's say this candle. Okay. Let's say if my friend used this. Okay. Oh, my camera. Hold on one second. Let me fix that. Let's say my friend, oop, or let's say my grandmother had this and my grandmother passed. Okay. And let's say that she got this in 1940. Okay. Or you could sit with this and meditate with it and astral project yourself through her memories to 1940 and then go walk around in 1940.
wow.
Yes. Okay. Now, that scares some people sometimes because they're like, I don't know if I want to go walking around and all that stuff. Okay. So, this gift has more things to it, which we're going to get to. Okay. But so, you're not exactly going there with your actual physical body. You're going there with your energy body, with your astral body. Does that make sense?
Yes, I thought when you say astral, I say yes because since I'm very young, since I was child, I have the dreams, and
Yes.
sometimes it happen,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes I'm going. My dreams they're quite vivid, so I understood the I can go.
Oh, yeah. So, you already know. Okay.
No, no. Well, I already know, but as like a dream, I know calling them, but well, I appear there sometimes. Sometimes I
Yes.
remember, sometimes I don't remember, but I didn't know so I did hear about this, the stuff, no, holding the energy, and
Mm-hmm.
you can have the memory, but of what happened or what can relate it with the object, no. But I didn't know that you can really go to that timeline and walk around and talk as you were there. O sea,
I didn't know either. So I have never seen that before where somebody has astral projected through people's memories of these different items that they are holding. I was like, oh, okay. It's like, that's so cool. And okay, let me tell you the rest of it, okay? Because it gets even better. So, okay, let me see where I'm at with my notes. Okay, use them as portals. Okay. So she was saying your higher self in this different incarnation, because these are things that she knows how to do already. She's going to
okay.
help mentor you and teach you this different version of you. Oh, let me tell you her name. Okay. So her name is Maricela.
Maricela.
Yes. And I said, oh, interesting. I said, that's a Hispanic name because
Yeah.
she wasn't Hispanic. She was British. And like, obviously you can be both, but she did not have that bloodline. And she said, no, my mother really liked the name. She heard it one day and then she named her Maricela. And I looked it up and it means star of the sea, which I think is funny because you showed me that Atlantis necklace. But you
Yeah.
also pulled this card that says, I am the love. It says, I am the loving energy of the universe. And it's stars and it looks like it's in the ocean.
Yeah.
Yes. But Star of the Sea, Marcella, she said that's her name, you can call her. So she said that, okay, do you know what an autobiography is?
Autobiography.
Yes. Like if somebody, like if I was going to write a book about myself, but I wrote it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Okay. She said that you could go to the library if
Mm-hmm.
you want, or the bookstore or whatever, and you could get a book that somebody has written about themselves and you can hold the book and read the author's memories and astral project yourself to that time and space through their memories. And
Okay.
I said, okay, okay.
Wait. Go to the library, read the books, the
You don't even
auto.
have to read it. You just have to hold it.
Ah, okay,
You
okay.
just hold. So do you know who Jane Goodall is? She's the woman that used to work with the chimpanzees.
No, but
Okay. Yes. And that was just an example. It could be
yeah,
anybody. It could be anybody from history. Okay. So let's just take Jane Goodall. She was this person that worked with, I don't know if it was chimpanzees, but it was some type of primates.
yeah.
She has passed, and she was saying she could go get Goodall's autobiography because she wrote it about herself. It's not like some books are people writing about other persons. That's not going to work for this because now you're picking up on that person's memories that wrote
Mm,
the book about somebody else. She said, let's find books that people have written about themselves, and you can meditate with that, and you can perceive Jane Goodall's memories and then astral project into these different places and spaces that Jane Goodall has experienced in her life. She
okay.
also said that you could actually speak with Jane Goodall in the past.
Ah,
She said,
okay.
you can walk around and find her. And I said, isn't that kind of stepping on people's free will? And
Ah,
she said, no, because they don't have to talk to you. She said, you would be appearing to them in human form to speak to them, and you could request to have a conversation. And just like any other human, they could say no.
ah,
She said, you can actually do this with anybody in history. She said, it can be, and she said, not only other people in history, you can do this with people in the present, you can do this with people in the future.
in the future.
Yes, once you learn how to be, because your karmic lesson right now is trusting yourself and feeling safe like in your body just to begin with, and then kind of like with this ayahuasca trip that you went on, all these different things, right? We have to kind of like tiptoe our way into these things. So the reason that your astral projection is coming through this way is because it's easy to work with physical items. That's safe. That's something that we can hold. Memories are safe. People we know are safe, right? But then there's going to become a time where you can just go into the future anytime you want and be walking around wherever you want to astral project to and speak to whoever you want and bring that information back here. That's further down your journey, though. Once you learn how to feel safe with the astral projecting, it's one thing to astral project through somebody's memories that you like don't know personally, but you like know them. And we have a roundabout idea of where we're astral projecting to. Going into the future is the complete unknown. We don't know what's there
Yes.
because it's not written yet. Does
Yeah.
that make sense? It kind
Yeah.
of is and it's kind of not. Everything's happening at one time. So your higher self is like, hey, there's not really any kind of past or future.
Yeah.
It's all happening at once, but your human brain needs to work this way with the memories and the astral projection with past events to feel safer with astral projecting before you start trying to go to the quote unquote future of the unknown in places that are unseen. Does that make sense?
Yes. But just the question now is
Yes.
like, oh, so if she want to mentor me, so breath is not my really medicine.
You can have lots of different things. This is just one of them.
Okay.
This is
Okay.
just one. And honestly, you've probably been guided to do the breath work and shamanism because those all go hand in hand with one another. Like
Yeah.
you have to be able to kind of like that because with the breath work, it helps you kind of not disconnect from yourself necessarily, but it helps you kind of connect to your multidimensionality outside of just this human experience, which is prepping you to do this type of astral projection.
Oh, oh yeah.
So they kind
No.
of work hand in hand with one another.
Okay, cool.
Okay. I'm gonna fix my camera here really quick. Yeah, this is just one gift. You probably have tons of other gifts that are going to come forward during this incarnation. This is just some next steps here. Okay. So when I was asking her about how this is applicable to you, okay. So before I say that, going into the past for you would be a little bit easier than tell me a celebrity that you like or a famous person right now.
Right now.
Yeah, today. Yeah.
I is reading now Stefano about this guy, the Stefano who remembers all the
Oh,
past.
Mateus.
Yes.
Yeah, Mateus. Okay, so you could. once you learn how to do this a little bit more concretely, you could go talk to Mateus right now. You could
Mm,
astral project to go talk to him. You're
yeah.
going to appear to these people in human form, not with actual your physical body will still be in the room where you're at right now. Okay, if
Mm,
you're doing this, but they will perceive you as another human being that is speaking to them. And I thought that was wild because your higher self is like, okay, you and me and other people have probably met other people who are actually astral travelers who are not actually there in their real human form. And I said, whoa. I said,
yes.
okay. Okay. So you're one of those persons that can do that. Okay. And I was like, this is so cool. So you could actually go speak with him like in real time today with anybody that you want. Are they going to speak to you? Maybe, maybe not, because he might be like, I don't know you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But maybe
Yeah.
you, it would almost be like if you and Mateus in the human, in the real 3D world, okay, we're in a coffee shop together.
Mm-hmm.
And then y'all just bumped into each other and you're like, oh my gosh, Mateus. And he was like, oh, who are you? And then you have a conversation, right? And then y'all just kind of hit it off. The exact same thing would happen with you astral projecting like that to go speak with him.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
he
yeah.
could be like, hey, like, let me get to know you. Or he could be like, no. Okay, because everybody has free will. Okay. So I asked her how this was applicable to you, and she said that part of your soul mission here is to survey. And I said, what does that mean? And she said, you're collecting knowledge, you are collecting data. So all of these persons who you are going to end up speaking with, whether they're famous people, celebrities, whomever, just anybody, throughout history, you're learning things from them.
Mm-hmm.
Wisdom, guidance, tools, resources to help the collective. That's why she mentioned you astral projecting to the future, because you will be able to bring information back to this current, kind of like Nikolai Tesla. Okay, because he was doing that as well. Okay, so you'll be able to bring advancements in sooner, right? Okay, so a couple different ways that you can utilize this gift is you could write books, you could become a speaker and share knowledge and wisdom, you could have mentorships. She said that you can teach people how to astral project. Like once you do this, there's gonna be so many people that would love to learn how to do this. Because think about all these people that could just go throughout history and like go talk to like Einstein or go
Yeah.
talk to Gandhi or like whomever, right?
Yeah,
Like,
but this is
okay.
gonna be crazy. And at the same time, I was thinking now, like, oh, it's crazy and good, but like if because some people have just since the in my head just came like Jacob. Jacob, okay, he was trying to understand this, no? That he said like we can really talk and project ourselves to the other person, blah blah blah, and it happened bad. Something happened bad to him, and I was thinking now to say, oh, that's amazing, really. To everybody wanted to learn it, want to learn it about, but also, well, okay, so I will figure it out
That's okay.
because
Do you have some fears? Is it fears that you have around that? What are the fears that are coming up?
like the this is gonna um use in a good way, really.
Yes, you don't want people to go back throughout history and be, yeah, doing all this. Okay. We cannot control other people.
Yeah.
We can't control other people, and we have to understand too that you're a very powerful healer. We have good insight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is why we need to learn boundaries. Okay. And using our intuition and discernment and asking our higher self not to align us with people who will do things like that. Like we
Okay.
want to be teachers of students who are going to utilize this in a good way. And listen too, like, okay, if you're teaching students how to
Mm-hmm.
astral project to go talk to people throughout history, okay,
Mm-hmm.
you also have to realize that the people who they would be speaking with are their own persons and have their own intuition and discernment as well. And it would just be like them talking to another human that was coming to speak with them. They have the opportunity to say, I don't want to build a relationship with you. You have bad vibes. Okay.
Okay.
So we also understand that this is a very advanced technology. It's not technology, but very advanced technology.
Yeah.
Right. This is not for everybody. This is for the people who are very self-aware and are doing a tremendous amount of work within themselves. Like, this is not just for regular schmegular people to be able to do this. Okay. This is not for people that are just like out here not doing the work. Like, they're not going to be able to do this. Does that make sense? Now, is that a blanket all statement? We can't make those because we never know like what could happen. Somebody could just decide one day I'm going to do something. You can't have control over all of that.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm breathing
I
it.
know, I see. Okay. You cannot do that. And the people who you pull in to be your students are going to be persons who are working on themselves. If they're at a level that they can even do these things in the first place, like, like if somebody's not working on themselves, they're not going to be able to get to that level of astral projection.
Yeah.
Right? Because archaic knowledge is for persons who are working on themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Now, can there be a fluke? Sure. But then we also have to make sure that we understand, like, I can't control everybody. And like, let's say this person goes to talk to Albert Einstein. Okay. We have to give Albert Einstein credit too, of him having intuition and discernment and not wanting to talk to that person if he doesn't like them. Now, can he be tricked? Sure. Right. But that's also not your response. You're just teaching people how to travel, right? We have to have more trust and faith in other peer persons as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
I think
you give me a very good tip there. Say to my higher self, so only align with the people to need to have to or have the capacity to project it and being good, doing good with that give knowledge and everything.
mm-hmm. You have okay, you're the creator of your reality.
Yeah.
You get to decide what happens in your experience. If we're holding fears of, oh, I have so much power, and if I teach this to other people, then they're going to go out and do nefarious things, we will pull in people like that because that's what we're placing energy and attention on. If we say over our field, higher self, I will only be aligned with students who will utilize this for good. That is the persons who you will pull in.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So again, this is kind of trusting self.
Yeah, you see, it's the
I know.
coming.
I know. And I get it. It's a lot of okay. Your higher self is saying that you're seeing this as power that can be weaponized against other people.
Yes.
Right? Again, she's saying we have to give more people credit to utilize their own intuition and discernment.
Okay.
Okay. We can't control all circumstances, but what we can do is set parameters over our tutelage and say, I will only pull in students who will utilize this for good. And if they are not, I don't want them to be able to use those abilities.
And how can I start?
How can you start doing this?
Uh-huh.
Yes. Okay. Let me talk about one more thing before we get into that. Okay. So I asked if there was any vows that you needed to work on, just in general or in relation to this gift. And your higher self said it's not exactly a vow, but it's some energetics running of, I don't want to charge for my gifts. I don't want to charge for knowledge. I don't want to make people pay for knowledge. Okay. So she wants you to have a different perspective on this. Okay. So, and I get it. Okay. Because she said one of the reasons that you don't want to do that is because you have been a healer and a seeker of knowledge and a sharer of knowledge for a long time. outside of this incarnation, and you either use bartering systems or there wasn't money. Like it was some other type of like system. This is you haven't been in a lot of incarnations where money was here. Okay. Okay. So she's saying you're going to have to one work on your relationship with money, because right now we're kind of looking at it as this capitalistic like evil thing that we don't need. But she's saying like, hey, if it wasn't money, we're going to have to exchange something.
Yeah, yeah.
Like there's got to be some type of exchange, because she said it's not money that you're bartering for, like it's or not money for knowledge. It's not money for knowledge.
Mhm.
It's money for your energy, time, and your dedication to your craft and your skill and your ability. If you're spending hours a day learning how to astral project and bringing all this knowledge and wisdom into the collective from your findings, and then you're teaching students, like, girl, you got, like, we work with the money system. You got, like, that's how you pay your bills. It's how you travel. It's how you do all these things, right? Like, we have to heal that relationship, that it's not knowledge that we're selling. It's not the knowledge. What we are trading for money is the time and energy and dedication that we are putting into our craft.
I was just tapping, like working in the money.
That's okay. But it's just, you only have so much time and energy as yourself in this incarnation. Like you're only going to be you this one time, right? And if you are dedicating, like you're only looking through these perspectives, okay? Like this one time, right? Or not really, because you could astral project into yourself in this incarnation in a different one, okay? But yes, okay. Yes. But she's saying if you're going to dedicate your life to learning how to do this in your other modalities, you have to receive something in return.
Yes.
It doesn't always have to be money. Like it can be a million other things, but there's nothing wrong with you being abundant and prosperous and blessed for this high level healing and knowledge and esoteric wisdom that you like. It takes time to do these things. It takes a lot of practice. It's kind of like a doctor that has to go to school for a long time. Okay, and they get paid because of that time and energy and that dedication that they have put in. The same thing for you. It's like I do a lot of work. I need to be compensated for that, but it's not, she wants you to take that. I don't want to make people pay for knowledge. That's not what you're doing. They're paying you for your time and energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And the byproduct of that is knowledge, but it's not them paying for knowledge. It's your time and energy that you are investing into helping them and helping the collective.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not money, it'd be something else.
Yeah.
It would be fruit. It would be meat. It would be clothes.
Yeah.
It would be whatever.
Because yesterday I was thinking about this. I was thinking like, what? Because I was reading Atelos. I am reading Atelos. It's a book about the Atlantis and Lemuria.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And I was reading about, and I was thinking like, if they are more advanced. Oh,
I'm still here. I had to fix my camera. Go ahead.
I was like, oh, they probably they not using now money. They might
didn't.
use another time, another thing. And I was thinking like, yeah, of course, they always gonna be exchange something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you have to be okay with it being money, is what she's saying. That's a relationship that you're gonna have to heal in order to feel comfortable with offering these services of astral projecting, whether that's writing a book or teaching people or mentorships or public speaking or whatever you want to do. You have to kind of speak over these different incarnations that you have experienced and tell them, hey, we're using money in this one. Okay. Like I know y'all used whatever you did in the other ones, but we're using money this time. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay.
Okay.
And we
Okay.
don't need to feel guilty about it. And one of the reasons that you were feeling guilty or your other incarnations were kind of like, we're not doing that. We're not selling knowledge. Okay. And so I was explaining to them, that's not what we're doing. Okay. Because anybody can learn to do these things. You know that. Anybody can learn to do anything that they want to. Not everybody has the time and energy or wants to learn. They want somebody to teach them. They want somebody who's an expert that says, this is exactly what you do, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, to be able to do these things, right? I'm somebody who learned how to do most of the stuff on my own without a teacher, without a mentor, but I dedicated my entire life to it. Other people have hobbies, passions. They want to be a doctor, they want to be a lawyer, they want to go do all these other things. They don't have as much time and energy to invest like I did. And so they hire somebody to bypass a lot of that and say, here's the guides, here's the frameworks, right? So your higher self is saying, like, hey, well, we need to be comfortable with people paying us then to do those things.
Mm-hmm.
They're not paying us for the knowledge, they're paying us for us. Mm-hmm. Okay. What comes up when I say that?
No, I was like, Sarita, yeah, you need to believe that. It's the energy. I know it's for my tongue and energy, because I'm like doing you the breath or you the shamanic. Oh my God, the time, the energy, what I pass, what I suffer, what, and I'm like thinking to put it the price just this week also. I was thinking to put the price. I was checking another prices and around, and it's just okay. And I was like, oh, and you're gonna charge 80. You
Right.
still
You're investing so much, but it's not just, she wants you to know too, it's not just you investing your money. It's not just you investing your time. You are having to look at so much trauma and PTSD at an accelerated rate. You're saying, slam it to me. I want to go through all of it right now so that I can become a more advanced healer and so that I can help more people. That's a lot to do. That's a lot to take on, right? So we need to appreciate and honor that and say, yeah, I did. I have gone through the fire just like a doctor or a lawyer would, right? And like, I am really dedicated to my craft, and I have put myself through all of these situations and all of these thousands of hours worth of studying and practice and implementation. Like, yes. Like, she wants you to know, like, you need to celebrate yourself for that and get compensated for that as well. But break that chain that you have running of like, I don't want to make people pay for knowledge. That's not what this is.
Okay.
This is, I'm getting paid because I went through it. Learned how to do these things so I can teach other people. Okay.
She would like to go to the place where she learned it, because if I am here just in London, maybe it's a good idea go to the place where she learned it.
Oh, where Maricela learned it? Yes. Okay. So in order to accelerate this gift, okay, one would be going in meditation and asking to speak with Maricela, asking her to come and speak with you. Okay. So I don't know how deep you are into connecting with other persons through meditation like that, but spending time sitting down and asking her to come forward, asking her to show you what she looks like. Okay, what do you look like? That's very helpful once you get a picture in your mind. Asking her to take you to London in the 1970s, asking you to take her to her apartment, her flats, asking you to take her into her room that has like the crystals and the plants and the metaphysical, asking to sit in her room with her so that she can teach and advise you. Okay, that's one. The other thing is finding items that have people's memories attached to them. Like asking like your friends for things, or if you have anything that your mom or dad gave you, or just something that has memories attached to it, sitting in meditation, holding the item and seeing what you can see from it. Now I'm going to say something else that's going to okay. So this candle could have been a dog in a different lifetime. It could have been a tree. It could have been a person, because all energy incarnates as different things, right? So there will become a time where you can pick up these items and read deeper into their Akasha field at their past lives as well. And then also jump into those different timelines. Okay. So let's say this was a dog. I can frequency read, get in those memories, and then go back on whatever time and space that was. Or let's say that this was an alien. Okay, let's say it was an alien, just aliens like a broad term. But let's say that this alien was from planet Zara. Okay. So you could sit with this in meditation, find that alien's memories, and then go astral project to planet Zara.
Mm-hmm.
So this gift that you have is incredibly, infinitely expansive. This means you could be traveling not only just to places on Earth, but it's easier to start on Earth because that feels safe.
Okay. It's easy to start just using my
right. I know. I was like, hold on, brace yourself. Okay. So yes, but the capabilities are endless. Or like she was talking about going to the future and then bringing things back here. You know, kind of like Nikolai Tesla's doing. There's so many things. You can go to Atlantis. You could go to Lemuria. You could go to Sirius. You could go to any of these starseed planets. That's a little bit deeper into your journey once you learn how, because you won't always have to use objects. That's just for now.
Okay, yeah.
It'll be easier for you because she was saying that objects hold energy differently because they're dense. They're easier for you to frequency read because it's all this energy like condensed into this tangible thing, right? But she's saying you won't have to use them forever. But this is just an easier way to start. Okay, so we need to be picking up items that belong to somebody, or you can go get autobiographies from the library or from the bookstore and hold those and meditate with them. Now, I don't know how expansive your channeling abilities are or your seeing abilities. So this is going to take practice. It's going to take a lot of practice. Okay. I am able to do all of the things that I don't do it the same way you do. I do this completely differently. Okay. But I'm able to do all of these things that I'm talking about right now. It took a lot of practice.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of time and dedication of me going on astral travel adventures. Okay. So
yes.
yeah.
I agree that you must spend a lot of time, probably more than 10 years, I think, so
Yeah,
practicing.
very long time. Yeah. Now I will say that this is not you learning. This is you re-remembering. You already know how to do these things. It's getting your ego, your human on board with knowing, because once there, I had this day where it clicked of like, oh, I already know how to do all these things. I'm just re-remembering. As soon as I said that, tons of gifts and abilities came in, and I was able to just do so much more so fast. Right.
Wow.
So it's reaching that point within yourself of allowing yourself to step back into your gifts. And once you hit that point, things just start clicking in super quick. And then you're just able to do all these like wildly magical, fun things. You'll be able to go in the future super quick and go to different planetary systems and all this stuff. It's you reaching the level of trust within yourself that this is real, that it's important, that you are super magical, that you are a great healer. Okay. And you know how to do it. It's just re-remembering. So what you think is going to take you 10 years, your higher self is like, no, girl, like it could be next year. Okay. It's however quick that you want it, or not quick. It's however quick that you are allowing yourself to open back up to this.
Okay.
And sometimes you have to take it a little bit slower with your human, because your human's got their own fears. It's got its own PTSD and trauma. It's got its own programming. So you got to be working through that stuff. That's why all that ayahuasca stuff came up when you were experiencing that, because it's like, okay, well, if we want to accelerate on this journey, then we need to see all this stuff and see it very clearly and upfront, and almost not scare ourselves necessarily, but like, let's go ahead and see some really scary stuff. And so that way we're not scared when we go out and astral travel, because we already seen it.
Yeah.
Like, what's going to be past, like, what's like, we see that we're safe and we're okay, even though we saw all those scary things. So now, like, okay, We've already done it.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah.
And so now we're clear to go astral travel. Because that's what stops people up is like, I don't know what I'm gonna see. Well, you already saw scary stuff, so and you're fine. You survived, you're alive.
Yeah.
There's nothing that's going to happen to you in the ethers. I have never had any type of like wild negative experience in the ethers. Have I seen some scary things? For sure. Nothing has ever harmed me. Nothing has ever penetrated my psyche, and all these scary things that people talk. I haven't had anything happen like that.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
It's your own fear that does the damage.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. It's not the actual like etheric work. It's your own central nervous system and your beliefs and like all these different things that they're your own projections
Yeah.
that cause that psychic damage.
Hmm.
So she was like, well, let's just blast you with it right now. So that way, so that way you're like, okay, well, I already went through it. I'm fine. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
No, no,
Okay.
no. Yeah.
Any questions before we finish up?
See, it's another past life, the it came out or something, or
I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
so it's another because you open the catches. It's another thing, the another past life or something that I need to.
Oh, you mean like karmic lessons or like mm-mm. This is the
No.
only thing that I saw right now. The only, and that's not saying that there won't be other things that come forward, right? But sometimes when I'm working with persons, there is a lot of heavy stuff that comes forward. There's like a lot of trauma and PTSD. There's a lot of karmic lessons. There's a lot of stuff that comes up. Not with
No.
you. She was like, hey girl, let me show you how to astral project. She's like, you need to trust yourself. We need to be okay with getting paid for our services. There's nothing in this chapter right now that warrants like, hey, I really need to look at this stuff.
Okay.
Right. So you've been doing a lot of work because you're in a chapter where it's like, hey, we've done a lot of work. Now we can focus on our spiritual things, like our spiritual esoteric things and ascending higher with that. We don't have to do as much shadow work right now. There
Okay.
will be times for that.
Yeah.
There's always times for that. Right? The
Always, yeah.
cycle. The cycle. Okay, but you're already out of that cycle for right now. And what you're doing is coming up on the upswing of like, okay, I get to ascend higher with my consciousness and with my spiritual gifts because I already just did a whole bunch of PTSD and trauma work.
Yeah.
So we're out of that cycle. So there wasn't anything in there that I saw that was like, oh, we have to look at this. It was more, no, we just need to work on the money thing and trusting ourselves and work on this gift. Okay. Right?
Nothing.
Yes. And Marcella is wonderful. She's very, very sweet. You will enjoy working with her. Again, just like a friend, you have to invest time and energy in connecting with them. Like if you want to be friends with your friend, we got to make lunch dates, go to
Yes.
events, right? So we need to be sitting in meditation and speaking with Marcella. You don't have to sit in still meditation. You can go to a lake and walk around.
Mm-hmm.
You can play music. It doesn't always have to be you sitting in the silence. It can
Yeah.
you just be saying like, "Hey Marcella, could you give me some insights and downloads today? I'm going to go carve out some time to be with myself for like 30 minutes where I get in the flow state where I'm feeling good
Mm-hmm.
and let her speak to you then as well."
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to send you some videos about energetic boundaries. And then you're going to continue to work on picking up items or autobiography books,
Mm-hmm.
sitting in meditation and seeing what comes up. I will say that when I am reading people, sometimes I'm trying to force it. I'm like, what about this? And show me this. And what are the answers? And what are the pictures? And my higher self is like, I just need you to sit in the stillness and let the things come to you. Because when it's controlling, you're trying to like find all these things. We need to let it come, take a breath, use your breath work. Like when
Yeah.
I was looking at that coin and I was like, I can't see it. Like, what is this? And I was like trying to force it to happen. And she was like, I need you to relax
Okay.
and be silent and be still for a second. And when I did that, then I heard the dog barking. And then
Mm.
I saw the fields. And then I saw the farmer. And then I saw him with the pitchfork. And then I was able to, right? I had to let it come to me instead of trying to force something to happen.
Mhm.
So sometimes you're going to sit in meditation, you're not going to see anything. Sometimes that's your higher self saying, are you going to sit and do this? Are you going to, even if you don't see anything, are you going to continue to try and practice? They're like checking to see how like dedicated you are to it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times I sat down to meditate and I didn't see anything. And then I would get up and I would get frustrated, but I would go right back to it. And now I can see pretty much everything.
Wow.
But you got to keep,
Yeah, keep going. And also, would you like dealing with your normal life? Oh dear.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What was your biggest takeaway today? What was the biggest thing that you learned today, either about yourself or just in
Oh,
general?
of course. I learned about myself to knowing the yes, you confirm again the well, I have the intuition this I
Mhm.
reincarnate life. And it's so and but my biggest thing is like knowing o sea, the capability also also the read the cool open this
Mhm.
and see that I yes I knew that I can astral project,
Yes.
but just like being or whatever, but not like this type, this type.
Mhm.
Um, and of course, the more sweet and lovely is this Marisa, no, how is
Ah, Marcella.
yeah,
Marcella.
Marisela wants to take me to her to mentorship me. O sea,
Mhm.
mentorship me, yeah, already know, but remember all this is like, wow, okay, I know along all that with me.
Yes, she's very excited to work with you. She's very, very excited. You're a very powerful healer
Thank you.
to be able to do these things. Okay, so we need to really be instilling confidence within ourselves. And yes, like I have days too where I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing and all stuff like with my human, right? But I have to keep on reminding myself I am a very powerful healer.
Yeah.
I have been doing this for a very long time, not just in this incarnation, but other incarnations. The only thing that limits our powers is ourself,
Yes, 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 definitely
right?
yes. I
So if
agree.
this is an indication, because when you were listening, you're like, whoa, I can do these things. You can do those because you are a powerful healer.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
It's
Because
not just it's not just by coincidence. It's because you have gotten yourself to this place by continuously incarnation after incarnation after incarnation, honing your skills and abilities and your talents.
yeah,
You remember, it's not just you in this incarnation. It's like generations of you that have been collectively coming together. So when you doubt yourself,
hmm.
it's not just me. It's like I have all of these different versions that are me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to send you your oracle cards and your crystal grid, and then I'll send you the replay and I'll send you the energetic boundaries as well.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay, okay. Thank you so much,
Oh, you're
sis.
welcome. I'm super excited for you. That was so fun. I was like, oh my God, I didn't even know people could do this. That was super cool.
Thank you. Thank you so much, really. Thank you
You're
so much.
welcome. Yeah. If you need anything in the future, just let me know. Okay.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Bye.